Well, this won't be a real shock to you, but if you come up to me and have a conversation with me and you're using words like no cap or slay or riz, you're probably going to need to unpack that a little bit for a Gen Xer, because I do speak English, but I'm not fluent in Gen Z English. Well, the Shema is similar in the respect that it was obviously written in Hebrew. And Hebrew is what we would call a compact language. In other words, it does not have as many words as we do in English. For example, biblical Hebrew, we're going to talk about ancient biblical Hebrew, has about 8,000 words. That's a lot of words, you might think. Modern English has about 170,000. So what that means is Hebrew has a Hebrew word has a broader context. I think if the Shema were written in original English, if it was originally written in English, it would be more like a paragraph. But what do we find? It's a statement in biblical Hebrew because it's a concise language. That's why a study like we've been taking part in on the Shema is so exciting. It's so rich because we get to really understand what was meant by those words in the original language. That's why we've broken up this statement into numerous lessons, because there's so much to unpack out of the original language. It's almost if each statement we read could be followed up by one of my favorite phrases. But wait, there's more. It's one of my favorite phrases. And you see it time and time again with the Shema. We started with, "Hear, O Israel." And as an English speaker, we're like, we understand what that means. But wait, there's more. "Hear, O Israel" is not to just hear it, but to obey it, to do it. It was to listen with the expected outcome of doing this when we hear, "Hear, O Israel." The Lord our God. The Lord is one. Okay, in English, I think I have a grasp on what that is saying. But there's so much more. The Lord is God alone. There is no other God. It is both a proclamation of that truth, but to the Jewish speaker, it is also a dedication to the only God. To Him and Him alone. Think about the fact that they had been brought out of Egypt with its 1,200 gods. This proclamation says, "I will serve the one true God, and I will serve Him alone." All of that is in that one little statement. A proclamation as well as a commitment to God. "You shall love the Lord your God." And we read that word love and we think feelings and we think emotions. And as Princeton unpacked it for us, it's so much more than that. To love the Lord your God is to give. It isn't about feelings or emotions. It is to give. And if it is to give, how am I to give? What am I to give? And it unpacks even more. With all your heart, as Ron talked to us Monday. Not with the blood pumping organ, but with every one of our desires we give to Him. With all of our passions we give to Him. With all of our thoughts we give all of that to Him. With all of your soul, as Brad unpacked yesterday. It isn't a ghost-like spirit that we're talking about when we talk about soul. So much more. It's who we are as a person. It's our physical existence. It's everything we do, every breath we breathe. We give Him all of that. And that leads us to the final phrase of the Shema. And with all your might, or with all your strength, as some translations have it both ways. This is our final gift to God. Out of our love and devotion and commitment to Him, this is the final thing that we give Him, that we proclaim each day as we wake up and each night as we lie down. We proclaim, "I give you all of my might." But what is that? The purpose of our lesson this morning is to understand what it is to give God all of our might so that we will hold nothing back, nothing in our devotion to Him. We start out with what the Greek or Hebrew word that we're looking at today, meod. That's the Hebrew word that is translated either might or strength, depending on your translation. If you've ever went through this study before, you know that this is a peculiar word for this context. If you haven't, get ready to be excited. Meod is not really a word that we would put there normally. It's an adverb. It's a qualifying word. What it actually means is very, or exceedingly, or greatness, or muchness. So here's how it is used most of the time in your Old Testament. And God saw everything that He had made, and behold, it was meod good. It was very good. It wasn't just good. There's a qualifier. It was very good. Another text, Genesis 15:1. The Lord says to Abram, "Fear not, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward shall be meod great." It shall be very great. You're not just going to get a good reward. It's going to be a very great reward. So that's the word that we translate might or strength. In the Shema, it's used as a noun. And I don't want to go all scholarly on you. That's not normally what we do with adverbs. We don't treat them as a noun. We don't say, I'm going to give you all of my very. We don't say, I'm going to give you all of my muchness. So because we're unpacking what this meant in the original language, how did the rabbis teach this? How did they teach their students, this is what you're to give to God when the word is very? One of the schools of thought said it was your physical strength. Some of the rabbis said it was to give all of your bodily power, to serve God with all of your energy. There's something I think we can relate to in this context. With all of your health, with all of your actions. That's what one of the schools of thought regarding meod was. Another said this is actually talking about your wealth, your resources. To love God with all of your material resources. So you give Him all of your heart, give Him all of your soul, and give Him all of your material resources. That's one of the schools of thought. And what's interesting is when the Torah was translated into Aramaic at around 5 BC, it began to be translated into Aramaic as less and less people spoke Hebrew. This is how they translated it. They translated it with all of your mammon, or all of your wealth. Well, and then another school of thought was it is your exceeding devotion is what is being spoken of with your with your meod. And so that simply meant with all of your love to God in an overflowing and unlimited way. So those are three different ways rabbis would teach this. As you can tell, it was a difficult concept to actually put in a clear and concise manner. So which one is it? It's all of them. It is all of your energy. It is all of your resources. It is with all that you have in an unlimited way. Yes, it is all of those and more. We are to love God with the muchness of everything we have. And as I thought through this text and what I'm presenting to you today, an image kept coming back in my mind of something that I'm familiar with, and I think most in this room will be familiar with. It is this idea of a coach that comes up to you on the sidelines. When it's obvious that you are giving less than 100%. And that coach comes to you in a loving and kind manner, and he takes you by the face, and he makes eye contact with you, and he says, we need you out there. We need you to give all that you have. We need you to be in 110%. We need you to leave everything on the field. Do we understand that illustration? Do we get that illustration? That's meod. That we don't hold anything back. That we're all in everything we have. We are all in giving that to God. That is Mayod. So Mayod is, hear, O Israel, love your God. Give to God all of your might, all of your strength. And that means giving him all of my talents. All of my talents are for him. I don't have different boxes where this is for God and this is for... No, all of my talents are for him. All of my wealth and my resources, or lack of wealth and lack of resources, however much it is, I give all of that to God. All of my time, I give all of that to God. As Paul said, making the best use of time. What would that be? Giving it all to God. Instead of saying, well, this is my time, I'm committing to giving all my time to God, all my opportunities, all of my blessings. Whatever we have, we give to him. We don't hold anything back. Or do we? And I'm speaking to myself as well. Are there times that I say, well, this is me time, or this is my money? This Shema is saying, I commit every bit of everything I have to you. And this is the same all-in devotion that Jesus calls to us time and time again as disciples of him. Just one example. Luke 9 and verse 62, Jesus said to him, no one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. That's the dedication of Mayod. Being all in, not looking back. And you might say, well, what's wrong really with looking back? I've still got my hand on the plow. The problem is, when we're looking back, is we're not all in. We're just half-hearted. Maybe even going through the motions. A song kept coming to my thinking as I was preparing this lesson. You might be familiar with this, the song The Motions by Matthew West. He says, I don't want to go through the motions. I don't want to go one more day without your all-consuming passion inside of me. I don't want to spend my whole life asking, what if I had given everything instead of going through the motions? When this earth is done, will I be able to say, I gave it all to him. I held nothing back. I gave him my very. I gave him my exceedingly. I gave him my muchness. I gave him my Mayod. The Shema is still, as Jesus called it, the greatest commandment. But it's also the biggest challenge, isn't it? I hope you take this text and apply it maybe to your daily prayer life. I hope you don't take this study of the Shema and just put it on the shelf. Remember, as Matt opened our time in this study, that this is a prayer that Jews pray every morning and every evening, committing themselves to God with everything they have. Can you think of a better prayer for us to have in our prayer life than to commit our everything to God? Today, we are God's people. And our devotion to him needs to be our single priority. And a reminder, like the Shema, helps us stay on that course, helps us stay on that track, helps us remain committed. Hear, O Israel. Say hear. Hear. Listen and do it. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. Say the Lord is one. The Lord is one. I will serve God and God alone. You shall love the Lord your God. Say love. Love. I will give to the Lord. What will I give? With all your heart. Say heart. Heart. I give him my thoughts. I give him my passions. I give him my will. And with all your soul. Say soul. Soul. I give him my entire physical existence, my life and every breath I take. And with all your might. Say might. I give him all of my resources, all of my talents, all of my time, all of my opportunities, my everything unlimited. Every bit of everything that I am and I have, I give to God.